22nd, 3rd, 2019, Friday. This is what's Capita Business Service Limited, the evidence there, limited company is here. Their new location, Capita Business Service Limited Company. My mate wasn't able to print it out in Company's House, very good. It's a limited company, they're an IT company. They're not medical experience. None of theirs says there's a technology company. There's your evidence. Capita Business Service Limited, the printout didn't come out as good. It's a private limited company. Anybody can find this out on Company's House. UK. It's a limited company. None of them, not one employee, took any of my information into consideration. And I'll show you why. There's a substantial risk element clause, and they failed to incorporate that statutory law. And it goes straight up to where this was found. My friend downloaded this for me, and I'm just showing this. Anyone else having to go loops and hoops with their system when you're struggling as well. Right, there you have it. Why should we have to try and work this out ourselves? I'll tell you, there's now. And they still make you go through how, well, when you're stuck in these matrix world, Department of Works and Pensions Corporation, but as you're severely unwell, there are statutory regulations that offer of monetary system a little bit just to survive in this messed up world in 2019 plus. Right, we've got various clauses. I'll go straight to the bit where they claimed you failed to attend a offer, i.e. medical evidence was already sent everything you can imagine the past year, particularly in reference to the situation. I know it's all about points, and it goes into specifically in the key statutory clauses, interpretations, and the meanings, what in their system they mean. I wish they make these more easier to the descriptors, for example. And they're using all these persons, not person, a man and woman. They should be treated as one. They're deliberately set up to make profit instead of helping genuine people. And if you haven't got any friends and family to assist you in your own home, in your private location, and there's certain criteria, I was bedbound when they offered me. They deliberately was offering me, set me up to fail deliberately. I was on DLA, disability living allowance. They stopped that. And I've got all this medical evidence. You wouldn't believe all things that was sent condition duress. Right, section. There's a key element I'm going to come to in part 2, just skipping through. In your daily activities and how it affects your mobility and psychologically as well. I'm skipping to the point about their scoring points. Yeah, it's all about scoring points in it with them. These civil servants work for the public. I'm severely limited in everything. They didn't give a monkeys. That and all my medical proof evidence of my occupational medical aids, disability aids, whole evidence of the report repairs, when you get them serviced, everything in all the condition that are sent. And it's very difficult when you're going through so much at once. They deliberately want you to crash and fail, and they don't give a monkeys. I'm coming to the bit where they didn't even elaborate in their statutory documentation here. If you can't bloody do things, why do you have to prove your bloody severe limitation and your disabilities and illnesses just to get some point scoring for their bloody system? The whole bloody thing is falling apart. If you're lucky we got anywhere with all this, let alone anything else going on. Descriptors. These men and women working for any of these private companies, are they really medically trained? What qualifications? Can you get evidence of them in advance? No. So I wonder they make up their reports of vulnerable disabled people. The bit I'm coming to, what they deliberately set me up to fail. I'll try and find it now. Here we go. Matters to begin taken into account determining good reason in relation to their statute or point there, 8, 9, and the matters to be taken into consideration determining whether an individual, man or woman, had a good reason unable to, in their statute law, you see that quotation there, the state of your health and irregular time. I was bedbound, side effects medications. They had my bloody medication list and all the other relevant information that was sent since July, and other civil servants and another adult health social care individual let me down big time as well. I've got email evidence of this. That individual left a job and left me with no support. That's been going on for quite some time, the way it should happen. I haven't done nothing. Anyway, this particular clause says, if it shows up on this stream, the state of your health at the relevant time. If you're, I can't move my body, right? I have to have every bit of bloody care. You won't believe how much, right? And they're doing this to lots of people in the United Kingdom. My right side is an limitation now, worse than it used to be. Can't walk, so what's I meant to do? Pigs don't bloody fly, so how's I meant to get out of bed at 9:15 AM when an individual outside my window, I soon found out, at 9:15 AM, when I can't do anything till after 1 in bloody afternoon, and everything went, since I knew, I sent all resent on my behalf, one off. Yet again, the 17th of the 10th, 2018 then, and then again, reconsideration with more severe, horrendous reports. I hate to getting that sent. So how did that go, you capita individuals, civil servants, employees or private corporation? And where did it go? Departments and pensions, your incompetence, causing me additional serious risk to my health and safety. You failed to scan any other evidence in to your computer systems to make it clear to recognise and your statutory documentation in line with my human rights. Thousands of others like me out there. When is it going to change? And then also goes into the nature of any disability. That in there you just put C letters down there. That never, ever, ever, it proves that individual assessor they sent round, and it turns out I found out it was a female. No evidence that she ever had or looked at any of the years of medical evidence ever. So it was a physical. Even on the reconsideration, the lawful due process, they failed again to look at my medical evidence. Again, and especially when I can't cope face to face. The sexual risk is factual evidence was already sent during the course of last year, conditionally addressed to these certain individuals in the job role. How can they do this to vulnerable people? All over the United Kingdom. And I know people can work and claim this type of benefit. They're doing it. Also, hi, just news. This is horrendous what they're doing. I just found this. I've got a sore throat today, so this is the evidence I found. This is a limited company that screws people over in it. And they're now based at that head office. It's not a very good printout. Don't know what's wrong with my printer. And this is how they're screwing people over. Capita Business Services Limited, and that's just one of many in it with Dwp Limited. I've got the evidence, so that's a company. They're just doing my head in. I've got all last year, like thousands of others. So this is the actual PIP, okay. If you can see that. The PIP regulations. Yeah. Did you just see that? Did you just see that? That's the evidence. A limited company. And shall I show you DWP, the evidence? You won't believe this shite, I tell you. I studied all this years ago. Right. Can you see that? This was Deport Companies House Made Easy. I tell you, this needs to get out to people. I studied contract law years ago before I got so ill. And this is a faint printout. Department of Works and Pensions Limited. Company's house numbers, the handwriting, UCO 48359. I repeat, UCO 483555943. Right. One of the officers for litigation room is there. Litigation 511 New Court, 48 Curry Street, London. So you want to know the head office obviously is. So I wrote to the head office CEO, Susan Handwriting, head office, Clacton House, 22 Street, London, the managing director, and an email. And they, in dishonour, this is where, Susan Handwriting, this is where this was sent as a rebuttal to their department, and all I had, whoever the manager was, and this is IT produced, and that's where you have different post handling sites, and it's just basically paper exercise, computerization. Years ago, you could easily check to see if they have CCJs. Watch for this next bit. House of Commons, the House of Parliament is a limited company. Yeah, can you read that? Members of Parliament, MPs. You think you're voting for somebody, you're not. It's an illusion. All political parties, the House of Commons. You see that print is very vague. I've got better printouts. And anyway, that's a company house number. Again, years ago, I got it off. There's a guy, YouTube channel, well, YouTube videos are still up somewhere for John Harris. He's now passed away. Years ago, he used to have a website, Department of Works and Pensions. Sorry, correction. What's it called? tpuc.org. That's where I got these from. And he has videos on It's an Illusion, The Straw Man. It's nothing to do with freeman of the land. It's to actually know who you really are as a man and a woman. And these are just corporations, limited companies. And the illusion that we, the man or the woman, are governed by the statutory regulations in the United Kingdom is another. They're sewed up more than ever to date. Well, what I know, and my I'm stuck in the system. and I can't get what I need. So thousands of others, so I'm just doing this to help others. There you go. There's another evidence. We're looking at House of Commons. Excuse the old handwriting. And same. Deport Company's House, Insight Business Report. This one is, you can see that printout, very close to the camera. Yeah. And again, members of Parliament and the location. You see, this is the truth of the facts. A business is business. This number, if you can't see it clearly, I've written it in hand. UC 5427244, company number. They don't, as soon as you wake up to these facts, you just get targeted by these bloody civil servants and stop your income. These are the truth of facts, first-hand knowledge. And this one, I did a copper cane seal my documents years ago. I don't get that in focus. Used to be able to check to see they got CCJs and Job Centre Plus. That must be why I set up for UC sanction. My God, yes, yes. It's all about numbers. It's all about cutting down their costs. It's about neutralising, not neutralising. Well, yeah, killing off people, isn't it? They don't care. These. I mean, look at all this. This is just more. I mean, this is absolutely need to full rebuttal on the presumption on what grounds they had to sanction people, you know. This is a clearer definition of members of the Parliament. You see that Company's House number there. And where they're located. Yeah. So the plan was to try and get some of these printed out and go back to the corporation's DWP. But I can't mix that one up. Because when you do a counterclaim, you see how I've learnt my conditional acceptance offer, my counterclaim offer. They are limited companies. That explains a lot. I've never thought about it before. Yeah. It took me since 2012 to learn a lot more. It's like, I'll give you another example for another company. Trying to get the right care. You might be listening. And you don't need to leave this either. In my area, the adult healthcare cuts, okay? And despite my previous vulnerability criteria and all that, and since I had the attempt of my life, the effects of that, and I've got all evidence, paper evidence to back it all up. The physical disabilities, you name it, I got all the evidence. That was all sent. They don't give a shite. So then I had the stroke and heart attack last, 2017, and then my habit deterioration. I thought I might get offered. Since I found out these people had harmed me who worked for this company, right? This is the evidence I found. Again, Company's House, and this is a company, limited company. So I sought full disclosure. This is a company, certain individuals over the years harmed me severely in my home. That's why I won't consent to any services offered by that company. But I went to source in their statutory law system, it's statutory law and common law, and then you've got contract law. Right, in my area, right, when they went all over the news, okay, about cuts of services, this is what I found out. Research. I had a PR background in research years ago before I got ill. Right. This, known as Northamptonshire Adult Social Services, NASS for short. There's the evidence. Company's House. Okay. It dissolved as a company on the 31st July 2018. They're still using the same email. They're still portraying themselves as a business to sort, see the SIC, nature of business, and the code. Let me go and do a comparison what the trading is. Right, same one. They're claiming helping the trading of the new head office opposite. Or, you know, massive, great big. You just search Northamptonshire County Council. Yeah, right. Didn't believe their company either, did you? Right. So they have a team set up, different teams, but running. Yes, absolutely. Let me just get out what you just said. So let's press the wrong button. Yeah, when Ploy is owned by Maximus, and now, according to the list of companies owned by Maximus, see why they deliberately deceive the public, that they make us not aware. You know, as soon as you get the evidence, paper trail, email trail evidence, and hold them accountable, because here it claims this company, see the code's nature of business. Well, all due respect, nothing against men and women that might work for them, but the CEOs and managing directors knew full well what's happening, and I sought clarification before any entry to our private location. We need to reform disability to work schemes. Yeah, right. This is where it's going back. I don't mean census, going back in history to workhouses. What we're going to do, look at the bigger picture, right? Hold on, where was that? No, I can't find that. They're trying to, do you get this gut feeling? They're putting vulnerable disabled people on the back burner. If you have, you've been found fit for work, whatever reason, and sanctioned, oh, look at the sanction schemes. Well, point scoring, because these men and women in the job role, right, in these places, I'll give you another example. Hold on, I have to do it this way. Oh. They want us now to go to appeal. Look, could you believe this? A limited company. I had a previous, when I had a technical life, I suffered compensation, haven't got the final payment for years. Ministry of Justice is a limited company. Now, it was my case reference years ago. Well, their system. It's very vague, the printout, sorry. Their tribunal, yeah, division of the company, tribunal or courts, yeah, court services. You think you got justice? No. They're going by profit, going by business, all business. And the code is company, Dwp.Capita House Code is UC 62148111. Might as well vague this printout. I've got another one printed out. They stopped my stream. Bear with me. I need to get a drink. Yeah, Karen, can you get me a drink? Excuse me, my throat's going today. Glasgow, director head of service in their statute law system. I had my information to conditionally sent under duress, and when you find out all this information, I need to put that back. Yeah, can you just put that back right up? I'll give you the example. These men and women have the assumption they have authority. If you don't know that, we're given by consent. And when I studied contract law and common law, every man and woman, we are sovereigns. We're sovereignty. I can't pronounce the word now. But the presumption that another woman has authority over you and using their statutory system by the assumption that they can go on the your national insurance number, but it's not yours. It's affiliated to when you become of a working age. If you ever came across information or haven't, who has extended an authority onto another man and woman, and now that's why they're using computer systems, who's given the presumption that an individual has authority over another. So when you become waking up to certain subjects, you have the freedom of choice whether you sign up or offer a contract to services, but they make it so impossible now, especially when you're unable to find a job. Well, how are you going to feed yourself? If you become unwell and get run over or get ill, you don't ask to get ill with disabilities. Therefore, you're relying on the state system, unless you got your own source of income, your own family members perhaps. So when it comes to a situation like thousands of others similar to and you find out this company was dissolved in 31st July 2018 as a private limited company, well, who the hell is offering you services then? And that's all I saw. As soon as I started that inquiry, I've had nothing but targeting, but backlash by these individuals working. And they have a different area office at this location. They are a limited company. This particular one is owned by this public services. Public is paying for all these companies and these individual wages. I've got nothing against individuals working for them per se. But when they've been offering me occupational therapy assessment, there's no evidence of personal knowledge that I'm required that in their statutory law system nationally in UK before they finish the care needs assessment, right? And that's what it's been a nightmare for a whole year. And not just because of this. The private company, it states it, what they do. So that's more up to date. And so even despite sending that off as evidence with requiring full disclosure in a particular department they are set up working for, they want access to my private dwelling. Anyway, just make sure I don't get this. Let me just put this back. Yeah, you do that, please. Thank you. And so I was just going over the statutory to this one. It's I don't know how to comment. Let's go into Department of Health. There's a bit a couple of Departments of Health. I think this is a bit more clearer. Let me just show you this anyway. If you want to see me, the camera's gone round. I'm not too well today, so. We need to reform disability to work schemes, yeah. Chairs news, yeah. Well, this is just another, that's a bit clearer on that company house information. Again, House of Commons, Dwp Company's House made easy. As I said, you could years ago when they used to be available, I don't think you might be able to get that information anymore. But this is also same one. Department of Health. Bear with me, this is a bit worn out now, a few years old. Department of Health. Yeah, we're living in an illusion, you know. They don't tell us ordinary men and women, and if only certain individuals know the truth. So this is this is about in 2004. I got all this again. Department of Health, okay. And room at the time, they could have moved offices by now. You never know, but it's all business. It's all commerce. So Department of Health. The company house number UCO4 6311066. So everything to do with NHS goes to this so-called business, Department of Health, and then that's why the NHS England head office is Leeds. NHS England. NHS England is a limited company as well, okay? And were they not offering me, like people like me, home visits anymore, by my own medical practice? If you go on Dun and Bradstreet, it's a like UK, is a worldwide website, but the one for UK, dunbradstreet.co.uk. Put your email in and search for, say, your area medical surgery, the name of it, the full postcode, get an email back, and you'll find the DUNS number. You'll find the limited company information as well that way. So every town and city is worldwide. Yeah, you notice the subtle change with the NHS providing NHS services in the windows of the health centres. Yeah, and this is where I found this out. I haven't got it right now. I don't think. Where did I put it? I thought I had it on my phone. I'm going to tell you this one. I can't get a home visit for what I need, but I found another reason why. There is also, if anyone wants to check some more information out on the disability subject. Yeah, so it says private, but it's still the NHS. It's when you dig further and do research, you'll find out it's all to do. They stopped my stream again. Oh no, they haven't. So I went back years ago. This is like before I started studying in, well, you can see the state. This is 2013. When I started taking back my rights, Black Soil campaign and disability rights, okay? And at the time, I was able to do my letters, you know, as you can see, I used to do my letters on the presumption. Here you go. If you want it, this is quite an old copy. I don't know if you can still find this, but I've seen something because I keep stopping my stream, interrupting it. Sorry about that. Right. This piece of like DWP, well, it used to be known as Atos, didn't it? Capita. Okay, today my voice is going. Yeah, BMA. Who is BMA? British. I can't pronounce words today. The national policy, and they're all company policies, by the way. BMA is meant to provide the qualifications of these men and women working for these private companies. Yeah, that's what they do to me all the bloody time, because when you wake up to knowledge and the facts of evidence, right, they just target you. And I've got another channel about all that. I can't go into ins and outs because when I'm in the UK and what they're doing to me now. Sorry about the phone going off. What they do when you wake up to this evidence, they make sure you either get cut off by your finance. Well, where was that information? I can't find it right now. But go and search these videos. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. I started learning the basics of contract law because the truth about the birth certificate. Anybody just get that out, read the bottom of it, and it will tell you you can't use it as ID. If anybody hasn't bothered to read that and look at how that birth certificate in uppercase letters, you think the uppercase letters is your name. Anything in the post in black letters, uppercase, or Mr., Miss, Mrs., Miss, Oh, master. My adoption certificate says the same. Has it lowercase, or does you have adoption certificate? Because you would have a birth certificate with your adoption certificate, and if you haven't got one, you have a right to get even a copy, and if you know where to go, because that even in your paperwork, any paperwork, yes, yeah. And you ever thought about why that is? Right. Because years ago, when I studied, if you can make a note of that, download that information, just Google it or search it online, Mary Croft, and download the book. Be prepared for a wake-up call, because everything you might be, well, people, I didn't know this, and when I started waking up to what I know, it's frustrating for me, because now I'm physically reduced in my health and I can't do much in this system. And where is the obligation to follow their statutory laws and regulations? Yeah. And where is the full disclosure on offer contracts? Where is the full disclosure on contract law? This is a sample of original template letter. I've got my own version. It's the same with alleged debt. And when you're seeking clarification on full disclosure of a sworn affidavit or first-hand knowledge, and your sign, because it's your signature on their documents that creates a value. One thing, how to sign conditionally under duress. I did under duress, and when I did go, I don't. You can go back in this channel and find some videos I made. How long ago, before I got so ill? I think it might be a year ago. To scroll through, you might find a video I went into detail a bit more on this. But I had to really, I struggled because my mum died last year. So ever since then, things have gone a bit downhill. Bear with me, there might be something important. Yeah. I'm diverse slightly, but this is how. Go and have a look at this, guys. I don't think much to these people, but go and check out that word, what settler and trustee means. Okay, in trust law. Okay, nothing against the guy that runs this website, owns it. Okay, go and check out that website. And it's, I know there's a lot of cash, I haven't got it for trial credit for the year, but there's very important documents to learn. They have a YouTube channel, they have a website, and it gives you free information. And gosh, I tell you what he tried to do for me before, to try and hold these civil servants accountable last year. When he tried the face-to-face meetings with me, they got to him and stopped him helping me. And I can't go into ins and outs how they did that, but all I know, since they've just deliberately tried to use my disabilities against me. And you are the man and the woman of the flesh, is the settler and grantor. Yes, okay, I've got the phone. So basically, when you signed for anything, and unfortunately, when you're tied up in the statutory law system, I have this individual as my appointeeship appointee on, like, in trust law, because of my ill health. It was setting him up to assist me as my gotta find what the word he used, bear with me, in contract law. He is confirming that I am in their trust. Oh, this is what they do to me. It says, okay, it's not you, it's my end. They just hack into my bloody system. But if I use my other channel, it doesn't get interfered. When I'm showing subjects like this, and showing to show for people to educate themselves, then they block my stream. So, you know, the claim interference, whatever. So it's okay if you need to go, it's fine. And I'll go back to originally what I'm talking about. For those that, for this information, that might be too much to go on. So let's just stick to the basics of this statutory law system. And that's what a lot of people, unfortunately, are stuck in. So I seek any public servants out there to provide the full disclosure of goods and services, and obviously it's not forthcoming because where is the offer in statute law? Well, when you're dealing with certain individuals working in these private corporations and claim to use statutory law, this is just an example of Chapman. Since 2012, I've studied this information. And Mary Elizabeth Croft. There is information to go into some history, but again, the banking is all about commerce and banking, but unfortunately, when we are all stuck into this entrapment of maritime law and other subjects, and you become so unwell, you're reliant on the state because of their offer services for personal care. You haven't got friends and family to assist you. And the old system years ago used to have people that cared, you know, help each other out. There wasn't such a thing as a state system, was there? But I go back in history, you start investigating, God forbid you got any energy to. The full disclosure on the terms and conditions has never been an equal consideration by Department of Works and Pensions Limited. There has never been a full disclosure in terms and conditions or to signatories on offer of meeting of the minds in contract law. Now, this is relevant to dealing with these public servants. It is full relevant because it's null and void of assumption presumption that by, I haven't got it sorted yet, but hopefully at the weekend I might too. So there has never been a two-party written signed contract for disclosure of the Capita Business Services Limited. This is the one that got a national contract using public funds, making profit. You wouldn't believe how many company directors there are in this company in the United Kingdom. And this is why they don't give you the points. They make sure men and women don't, well, if you do get the points, you're damn well bloody lucky. The company house reference number, the printout didn't come out very good, unfortunately. But it just gives you today's date. Obviously, my mate tried to print it out for me. And so basically, they said I failed to attend a medical. I didn't. I was bedbound. I was so unwell. And I was reduced conditionally under duress. And since I've been so ill, I haven't been able to do what I used to do, you see, in the contract law. And so they're relying on me to go to what it's called in Sense of Ice, people like that. I found out that is also a company. I've got it, I haven't that out, but I've got it saved on, my mate saved it on my laptop. And this is now why they're going digital, fiat currency, numbers computer. This is why, to make it more difficult. But you can still try and incorporate a document into an email to do similar sort of paper, preferably, you know, you got a paper trail, recorded post to seek full disclosure. They have breached, the Department of Works and Pensions have breached the offer contract since 2013 and stopping my DLA. And that monetary system comes out of that birth certificate trust fund. It's like, it's not owned. If you notice a crown logo on any of the documentation, like Ministry of Justice and the websites and stuff and statutory law, it's a crown. logo. And if you notice the bond paper they use, oh my goodness me, I wish I didn't know half the things I know. I really do sometimes, because when you look at the offer credit, the word credit, cards, the loans, look at how in commerce it always has to be in business, in commerce. It needs to be traded. That birth certificate name is a trading name for business and finance. It's worldwide. So therefore, there isn't any equal consideration. So where's the obligations to go, as soon as you sign as uppercase, where they have their documentation in these corporations, and especially claim to be government, but they're not. And as soon as you just share the knowledge, you're just on a bloody watch list by the state, because there's nothing unlawful what I'm doing, because I'm just showing you evidence of a company house. It's public knowledge. All this is public knowledge. And when you research, can you see the logo of company's house? And that's a lot of information. People do more than I can ever do at the moment about these logos on their paperwork. So anyway, you can go to alternative Dun & Bradstreet, and people are doing this. They are doing it in their own way, and I'm just showing the basics. And I don't think myself now is able to get out of this system that I'm in. I feel entrapped. But there is a remedy for those that have the ability to take this further, and I think people are starting to wake up. So my physical health is really poor. So they just want people to be... I talked to this journalist. She's doing some studies and stuff on social care, community care, and my situation is so poor in the fact that I will end up in the care system in the way. I'm not bothered about all that and the way they're portraying everything, because I know my spiritual energy where it needs to be. So when you do meditation, you're trying to help yourself with your psychological well-being, but your physical health is not getting better. How can these parasites, excuse my expression, working for these corporations to imply they have authority over another man or woman just because they're so ill? And how would they like to their loved ones or family to end up in this situation and be sanctioned and live for nothing and starve and die? And God forbid, I'm sorry to say that, but it's evidence, true. It's going on all over. And comparison to what is going on around the world, I know this might not seem much, but it's so important. So please, anybody out there, if you have spare time, to download some documents, and in your own time, in your own space, try and watch videos if still up, just to educate yourself, even if you can't do much about it yourself. The knowledge is important, and especially when they say that you haven't done something, when it's impossible to do what they tried to assume I didn't do, because I got high. One of these days, I don't know if you've seen a video, the medical equipment I've got in the corner of my bedroom. I've got a hoist, wheelchair, you name it, I've got it. The high care needs I've got is unreal. And then the attempt to murder my life. I've never recovered, I won't recover. So I'm on medications, for example. All these medications, that's just my morning, and all the side effects. And I've got natural remedies and stuff, but I have to be careful what I use. So you see, why should we have to prove? Where is the authority of another obligation, for example? Where's the obligation to prove all this to an employee of a corporation? There isn't. The presumption, that's what implies. So this is why people do certain letters to see, not just as a alleged debt letter example, but it can relate and turn word slightly to seek clarification of copy of contract binding both parties. That representative, the agent, it's notice to principal is notice to agent, and notice to agent is notice to principal. So that birth certificate name is just a trading name. So you're the representative as an agent for that corporation birth certificate trading name. And how you sign as a representative agent for that corporation, and how to learn to sign. And when you learn that advanced stage, eventually, you gain that power back. And this is how they entrap the state system, how they entrap the man and woman in their system, is by willingly, by consent, by voluntarily signing their documentation and their computerized system now, yeah, to represent that corporation name. So these corporations, whoever, public funded or private, can go in and tap into that trust account and get access to those funds. You can't even comprehend once you find out how much value in commerce, in fiat currency, is worth of that birth certificate trade name. But you can't yourself go in to use it. You can have benefit of use, and that's where the statute law comes into it. You have benefit of use, and if you don't sign a certain way on these corporation documentations under duress, means by force cohesion, you need to learn these certain words if you seek consideration. This never is. So one side is null and void. But when you're dealing with corporations like Department of Works and Pensions and their statutory law system, some of these men and women now, especially the younger generation employed in this state system, have no comprehension and knowledge of this. This is in history to date. And so all I've ever, the past months, have sought full disclosure and terms and conditions, and I can no longer type, and I don't have extra help, and they're relying on that I don't have extra help to do my documents the way I can anymore, I used to do. So therefore, I'm just doing this for those that have got the ability to learn and to take things further. I know I'm no longer able to do as much as I am, but I will not ever forget. So yes, it is a shock, and I'll go back to finishing up with, I'll keep that one out because that is the valuation. But what you're doing when you're doing letters like this, you're seeking clarification and you're supporting it with copies of the evidence. But their statutory laws and regulations are just that. It's offer contracts because they're a company. So let me just put that down there. So when it comes to digitalisation with AI, I was just really had a shock the other day when I couldn't access medical treatment because of my ill health getting worse. And I found they've got another company, NHS England Limited, head office in Leeds, and I found the evidence that they expect you to sign up in their computerised system to get the joinder of that birth certificate trading name, so they can use that to finance their business. And that's what it is, business. It's I'm just gotta get this together. Give me a moment. Got another phone going off. The rest all day. So when your health has a bad day, all you can do is your body's rest. Put these documents back. So yeah, so the plan is to get this evidence off at their company, and hope my friend can try and sort out my printer, why it's not printing out right. So I'm just going to be learning how to sign a settler and beneficiary of the birth certificate trading name is because you're in control, meant to be. Let me just get that together. So, and it goes on. I'm just going to show this print out, so bear with me. The reason why I went on the slight version on this evidence of that is because of the descriptors in statute law. That's how I started off. Because of this is what did I get here? This is my descriptors basically. I got all these benefits and works.co.uk website, used to be a member of. We'll try if I can afford to sign up again. But I'm about to show you, it's not very good, but this is very personal. But for those that are trying to get your head around it all, about the points in their statutory law system, I can't wash and bathe at all myself. And that's where my high knees are. So, G point there. I should get 8 points. But I never got the opportunity to be lawfully assessed by a former social worker to sit in on the medical because she left her job. And ever since then, I've been let down by the public servants in my area. Toileting needs, I told you I can't walk. I have certain aids in my home and my bed as well. And there's certain aids I have, and that's all evidence was sent. It's very embarrassing when you're sending this certain evidence in paperwork as well. And they never scanned any of my documentation in to the computer system. Capita Business Service Limited are negligent. So I'm seeking a remedy for this. Doubt I'll get one in their system, but I'm trying. Anyway, I need assistance to be able to manage. And when you can't walk, and it's not just your bladder or your other 8 points there, they have all the evidence. It's embarrassing. And these are not medically trained. It's an IT company. How can they bloody assess disabled, vulnerable people with complex health needs as well? I know people can complain, get benefits if you're working, for example, whatever it might be, but when you're a severe situation, unfortunately, and you've got evidence to prove it, I can't wash and dress at all myself. So as I said, I need assistance. It's not just psychological, it's physical. And I need assistance with appropriate clothing. This next page goes into, I wish my pen was, I couldn't get the print up bigger. I need bigger print. And I need assistance to be able to address the that I meet is section F, and I cannot dress or undress at all. I need 8 points. See? And the communication, I struggle, like my friends here watching me. Over me, 2 of them's coming in, and there's 2 cool. This is about the scoring points. So basically, communication verbally, I struggle like hell. And you wouldn't think it, would you? And I'm just taught today because I'm on medications. Without them and the Pro Plus and the coffee, I don't function, even for slight things. So I'm not exaggerating nothing. Cannot express. Well, I can, at best I can, because you can see it on my streams, my videos, best I possibly can. But I need assistance. So like with these smartphones, I can zoom in, right? Like this is like a magnifier glass type thing. Other than and reading. This is by the assistance of my friend. I can't do this on my own, by the way. One-handed? No. So I have help see my other friends gone and someone else has taken over. That's how they work in turn. And the extra help I need for all this paperwork and stuff. And that's what I said, the local offer of citizens' advice in their board of trustees and their individual employees. Could you offer a home visit? Because I've got these complex, struggling with the emails, phone calls, letters, and let alone other subjects related to the one I'm coming to. So when I did this, I got a print out ages ago, my mate printed it out again for me. It goes into, can't speak words now, it goes into prompting to be able to read, to understand, and especially the complex information. It's not just a physical fatigue, side effects of medication, the pain I'm in, it's also the unseen disabilities, and there's some medical evidence. The major bit, which is very distressing for me to still realise, the engaging with other people face to face. This is the biggest one I have. This is the biggest one that they make sure that you fail on. Without robust psychological, men and women in their job role, mental health field, your medical practitioners in the medical practice, funded by the public purse again, may not put the right information in. How the hell then can you cope with a stranger in your home when you can't engage face to face? And that's where it comes to critical, substantial medical evidence has not been followed by the points and the particular assessors for Capita Business Service Limited and other private companies related. They have not failed in the key own policy and national statutory law as well. And the key points that I've got by hand, excuse my writing, 1222, 136 and 2. So I had to just do the best I could in relation to also universal credit, employment support allowance, personal independence payment allowance. It all relates to exemption categorization in statute law. So I'm looking at both angles, okay? The difficulty daily with the protocol they should have followed and never had. If they had, they would have already offered a paper-based medical PIP assessment, and also like with the ESA and the previous DLA. When the assessor individual claimed they used this section 9.8 of the PIP regulation, matters in statutory law, I'm quoting, matters to be taken in consideration to account to determine whether one has a good reason under the statutory regulation 0.8392, and I'm going to go and show you that now. The fact is the use of claim that one failed to attend a offer of a PIP medical by a private limited company is this. You struggle with phone calls. I cannot, my friend's helping me with this computer today. Okay, here we go. This is statutory law, and this is the PDF file, PIP Regulation 2013 DWP Limited. Okay. Right, so we're dealing with UK statutory estate. May require C to provide any information or evidence to require determination if C has limited capability, severely limited ability to carry out daily living activities or mobility. It goes into all the statutory documentation and goes into the descriptors. I'm coming to the point where they claim an individual fails without good reason in their system to comply with their assumed authority with a requirement referred to in a paragraph. Their key words, a request, it's a requirement, they are an offering. And then if one has, in their eyes, has not shown a good reason, and you soon find out what their clarifications of that definition is, they are required to put a negative determination in relation to the component to require the failed and related must be made. This is where Capita Business Services Limited or any company on behalf of Department of Works and Pensions Limited are doing. Failure to act upon this key evidence that you might have additionally sent in. So if you get constant offers, 3 of them was impossible, like I've heard people have. Times, impossible, sent you 30 miles away, you got evidence to support the reason you can't travel, everything in my situation was already done, condition arrest, by the way. So they use these words, but may be called for consultation. May, the word may. So why have Capita or any company like that on behalf of Department of Works and Pensions Limited not made sure the correct due process is followed by their contract company and by their own computerisation call centre employees, especially when you have severely limited ability to carry out your daily life. So it goes into the key points of 9, where it fails to determine whether they just don't put man or woman's details, just put letters in here, has limited ability or severely limited capability to work. Now, what I noticed was the key elements. Subject down to the bottom where they claimed the individual failed to participate in a consultation face to face in their building, place of business, or by telephone. Well, if you're in hospital, I'm hearing about this too. If you're in hospital and you're struggling, or you've had a dental operation, which I should have had by now, I won't be a blinking talk. So whereas am I going to be able to have help to do all this on top? Then also, I sent the additional evidence in, and this was reference to their statutory law, UK, subject to paragraph 3, claim I failed to, and they automated straight away that individual outside my window, 25th of the 10th, 2018, put me failed to attend. I didn't. And they failed to scan my medical evidence. I've soon found out even more. So they put down automatically that I failed to attend or participate in the offer of a consultation. And they put a negative mark, and they closed my claim and stopped my delay. Automated by their computer statutory. But then, when it goes down further, we go down Matter to take consideration on the statutory regulations of number 8 and number 9. Point 10 states, I've really got a bad sore throat, so bear with me. The matter to consideration is whether or not one showed a good reason under this clause in statute law. 8392. The state of health and the relevant time, 9:15 a.m. I don't get my care, and I'm not decent till after 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So you call 9:15 a.m. It was deliberately done to set me up to not be able to receive offer, goods and services in line with statutory act and common law and contract law. The next part, the nature of any disability. This is where it was factual evidence of personal knowledge that these individuals never had my offer and address of medical evidence to back up the nature of my joint disabilities. How many others out there? And when you see your lawful right to require a reconsideration, extra medical evidence was sent about my inability in day-to-day activities, and the combination of that as well on top. Still, the Department of Works and Pensions, Area Office, Wolverhampton, individual unnamed, sent non-factual evidence as computer generated. Nothing about what evidence they used to reject my reconsideration in their statute law system. So this is where I'll seek a remedy for the back date of the GLA and to reconsider for the breach of my human rights, as well as God-given rights, as well as their breach of a contract. And it's a fine area how to approach this now, because they expect in the statutory law system to use emergency adjusters, appeal online. They deliberately left it severely disabled people who have struggling to get any assistance to do their Ministry of Justice tribunal appeal, and there's literally 2 days to go. This is where your health deteriorates, physically, stress, whatever. Please try and learn about meditation and natural health, and if you feel distressed, whatever, I know you might not like searching out information, but you're not alone. I know it's hard to feel like, it feels like you are, but you're not alone. If I hadn't had my training experience over the years and learning certain things, I wouldn't know what I know now, and I think I would be in a really worse situation in my state of health, trying to comprehend all this. But you see, they did, and I got proof of posting evidence. They had all the necessary information, conditionally under arrest, signed under duress by force and coercion. And now I don't want to get a copyright because I can't go into the YouTube channel, which might help you to learn more. As you can see, or you won't be able to see, the protocol, there is, where's the one I just found? It's unlimited what individual friend of mine can do. The victimisation. So here's the public and private in trust law document, if I can get this up. Okay. Anybody out there who has the skills and ability to learn this information about natural law and just watch videos while you're trying to rest up, you see, trying to get a remedy, and I shall see if my friend can print this out. I don't know how many pages it is right now. So, public law is where the public services employees, the government you could call it, see administrative, criminal law, constitutional law, they see us as the employees because they see us signing their documentations. But then, if you represent yourself, there is status in contract law, tort law. I've experienced horrendous torts in latitudes, and there is a national constitution, but I don't know if it still exists the way things are now. The body of law dealing with private persons and their property relationships, and it is a lot of studying the rules of the game. It is a commerce, it's a game, and it doesn't feel like it. Stay in honour at all costs, and I swear to goodness that's what I've ever done. My conditional acceptance of all offers and my reconsideration of my counterclaim offer of goods and services. It's all, there is no such thing as money. Stay out of the courts. Do not participate in maritime law. Call in. We're living in definition of slavery. And very good people, when they do try to hold the God-given rights accountable, and when you research the meaning and definition of words, it is getting extremely difficult to find a remedy. Public law is that part of the law which dealing with the state. That is a crucial part what's going on with statute law for vulnerable disabled people and those with children are struggling, working people are struggling, and public law is that part of, public law is that part of the law which states which the state, and you investigate what the state means eventually in relation to individuals. So that key word is sovereign power in the private. And as I said, when you investigate and how to use this information in in trust law, in private law, in private, because business, when it regulates business, so this is one-page document. So when you need to be careful how you go about this, because unfortunately the living, the men and women, are treated as slaves to the state. And this is how they can get away with their assumption that you are that. Their statutory laws, regulations apply to that individual. They believe that you are signing and taking full ownership of that trade birth certificate name. That's a get the joinder. And that's where you get everything everything, other subjects, not just this one, comes all with it. Yes. So all those that are empowered and know what they're doing and how to, there's a lot of people that do, and I'm just going on this subject, and I need to. And also, if you want to learn reference to trustees of natural law, as I said, I was just amazed when my friend found this and downloaded it for me. So yes, unfortunately, it's not been about a victim, is it? It's been about a survivor. And by the way, about your right to record the offer of any visits, medicals. And when you're stuck in this statutory law system, please be aware about adult safeguarding, because the state will come in. Be careful what you obviously state in honour in all opposite goods and services. Always try and get clarification, because when the medical that own in statute law, GP, does not comprehend why should you have to pay for letters to whether it's job centre plus whoever you're dealing in effects of your health, your disability, and your positions situation. This is a template letter I found on reference, a template letter questionnaire to support your claim for ESA, UC credit, PIP. And because what they're being told is not to sign your sick notes. So the state will come in. It's all about point scoring. It's all about making you jump through more hoops, and especially now using this new trial system as the Justice Online Appeal system. And where you have extreme difficulties and you struggle, let alone face to face. I'm going to try and get my mate to get this out. It all depends. And if you have psychological disabilities as well as physical, and you got evidence and it's already been sent, why the hell should you send anything more? Why the hell should you have to go through the horrendous system? So this is what they're doing online. I've just made some notes to go with me. They're using the online tribunal panel. That means you won't get you might or might not get the opportunity. People might benefit this, but some people might not get the opportunity to state how their disability are affecting them with a point scoring for the PIP, for example. The substantial risk element is being overlooked. Now, what they're using online is the text box tribunal system, and that's by Ministry of Justice, United Kingdom now. I found this, so it's a new programme, and shout out to disabled people against cuts and their social media platform, because I wouldn't have found this otherwise. And my mate checked this out a few days ago, and it's relating to how can you explain to strangers. It's all about deadlines, and if you're not very good at computerisation and you're limited in what you can do, they're using computer software known as Dashboard, where you need to set up an account, secure account, and when all your documents are meant to be scanned in, how many pages do you have already? And how the hell can you scan it all in yourself? And the relevant questions, what questions? So it goes in not just in statute law, and I'll go for example, where did I put that just now? Why should you have to go for more trauma if you already have pets or trauma in your life? You already have this information. You're a victim. This is a key one I found out as well. If you're a survivor, not a victim, but a survivor of severe trauma, a victim of violence, whether it's domestic violence, and these key, like post-traumatic stress. Oh, I'm losing my voice, bear with me. And where you have evidence, and it's already gone, and the business companies are showed at the beginning of this story, any private limited company, put it Partner Works and Pensions Limited. Are you back? Yeah, they're blocking me. Hold on, I'll turn the camera around. Right, so where there's now new tribunal crap system. Oh gosh, protocols where the presumption to use is this new computer system now. Military Justice Limited is using a computer system, bear with the handwritten notes. It's called a resolution online, COR in short, text box tribunal, for PIP, ESA, UC. So you want to appeal your sanction. They've got a website. I haven't got the full address. It's online tribunal panel. It's not like a face-to-face, is it? Where you could have your say, or a video link like they used to do years ago. I've experienced that. How are they going to review your documents if you aren't able to scan it into a computer system? There is nothing on their website, my mate found out, of any angle how they're going to create the ability for those of less ability to use a computer system yet again, like anything. And that Dr. Link, by the way, I found out with the NHS England Limited, Lee's head office, is a private limited company as well. And you put your details in to their computer system. They're meant to send them over to your medical practice in statute law. And this is where they don't do. Let me just go back into this one I just found. I might just find this letter template. How, if you didn't know, the job centre, part of Department Works and Pensions also the company. Every building, why do you think they're closing them down? Because everyone's going on computerisation, isn't it? With the computer acronyms, AI and stuff. So, it's not the job centre, it's the civil servant on behalf of that company has deemed the individual able to work. And yet, if this man or woman, a General Medical Council member, puts his details there and claims the medical relation into the medical conditions in connections with the offer of the benefit system in statute law, okay? So whether it's relevant to your area office or online, where they're doing things now, Dwp Limited, Jobs Limited Plus, deemed to be able to work, then I don't know anybody else has got any success on this, but and they have the opinion that due to your health problems, well, I would have thought this is reworded, one may be able to have this slightly amended, the wording, which I know about in certain PIP statutory point scoring regulations. Slightly, this was just basically about, this is just a general worded document, Word document, that can be easily amended, because many people with mental health disabilities, I would have thought it would be better worded, and physical disabilities are losing their offer of the benefit system as they are being classed as able to work. It's absolutely cruel, evil, disgusting. And this is just a standardised letter that you're being claimed you're well enough to work. When what do they want? Go back to workhouses and make you work until you drop down, really suffering, going back in the workhouses era. So all this PIP scoring, all these elements, all your personal private information to share with these corporations, higher. So yeah, so your mobility problems, your daily living. So basically this was off a website, benefits, if you want to go and check it out, benefitsandworks.co.uk. if you're stuck in the statutory law system. You're reading, understanding signs and words, engaging with other people. So these people working at job centre classes and work coaches, especially nowadays, isn't it? Individuals are not qualified, are they? Medically, in statute law, how can they imply that you might be able to do engaging with people? You know, psychological distress, need to claim for tort, need a remedy when they cause all this stopping. You know, remedy what they've done to me, stop my DNA. And then a remedy is sought to the CEO, the man of Department of Works and Pensions, head office in Clacton House, London. And how to word it is another. I did that already twice, and they ignored it, by the way. And how they deliberately. Here you go. Here's this particular element. Want to research that if you've been sanctioned and if it's related to anybody or yourself. Look at the definition of what substantial risk of harm means in their terminology. I found out. And it's not just for the personal independence, okay? It relates to universal credit and it also relates to ESA. And by the way, if you're getting high personal care, how can you get out your home to go to office appointments anyway? You see, they've got all this wrong, isn't it? So mobility problems, okay, for those with physical disabilities as well. Or here they trick people up with following journeys and the psychological side as well. So care plan, can plan and follow route. These are trick questions I found and previous forums and documents. I got this off, as I said, ages ago now. Benefitsandworks.co.uk is an independent website. It's about £19 for the year at the time, but I can't afford to sign back up. But at the time, I just saved the documents and how to do their system, just in case. Now, also moving around all these key descriptors. Well, if you don't get offered a correct trained individual specialising in their field to assess disabled people and the offer in your private dwelling, in your home, at a time when you are safe, safe in your equipment to use to aid you when you can't walk, then and then have someone to sit in on that medical and you record it. Yes, it's the same for work capability. Yeah, ESA, exactly the same. I just found that. Let me just found it earlier. It's stopping me every time in this stream. Right. What you just said about the WGC, I just had that up just a minute ago. Right, record it. Here we go. That might help. This, if I can get this Word document up. Right, you're right to record, and don't let anybody tell you can't record any meeting or offer in a public building. Right. This was originally done on the evidence on statutory law. Right to a recording in a work capability assessment. And there's a case law in statute law, as you can see, and goes back to that period. This is a template letter reference to, I wish to have a work company, I can't speak the word now, what you just said in abbreviation, face-to-face recorded, and whether it's whatever company, and the due recording. I've got equipment already anyway, but I thought was going to happen last year. It didn't. So this was already precedent set in statute law. of everybody's right for this. So whether it's a former, the contract, you see this individual did this, I found this ages ago now, all process. So if you can't get this offer in the Job Centre Plus meetings, then it's up to you what you want to do discreetly. But remember, it needs to be for personal use only in common law. There's to the statutory law. I don't know if I can get that up. No, I can't get it up. Yeah, so this, because they're private companies, but if you're going in on the aspect of to these, if you think you can try and complain to a GP, member of Parliament, good luck. You might get somewhere, but everything's worth a try. Either contract law, statute law, whatever means that might work, it's worth trying angles. Careful how you word things. So it's basically, where's the obligation to attend an assessment if it's not recorded? Yeah. And where's the obligation to attend a face-to-face when you've got medical evidence that you're not able to cope? So these key elements, my mate downloaded this for me just to try and draw up a document for me. This goes on to reference to Maximus. And there's an uppercase tribunal case number. Just go on case reference. By the way, I am not a lawyer. I'm not a member of the Bar Society. I'm just an individual that studied some information. So there was a case law in statute law where it states already as precedent in UK. If an individual has been refused to individual to be offered an assessment is not recorded, a case reference precedent where it's already claimed, unless the medical can be recorded, the upper tribunal held that it has not been established in the appellant failed to show a good cause for failing to submit himself for medical, and this goes back for quite a few years, mind you. Things might change since then. The tribunal judge went on to instruct that the Secretary of State had informed that these medical service company to arrange for the individual to be provided with details in writing on the conditions which where an interview or examination may be tape recorded. I think all this time on now to date that has been revised and looked at. Goes on reference to then offer the individual a further appointment for a medical. So going back the 31st of my situation, the 8th 2018, everything was previously agreed via a former public servant, social worker, and yet Capita Business Service Limited individuals constantly on the phone and in their computerised letters failed to put in that, as well as the dispute reasonable adjustments as well. So who's in breach of who or what? In my situation, for example, it's Capita Business Service Limited CEO, his board of directors, in line with the civil servants working on behalf of Department of Works and Pensions Limited in the breach of duty of statutory law known as Equality Act 2010, Section 2122 as well. That's already been sent, contingent under arrest, the factual evidence, and they rejected all that too. So this was going on statute law, this documentation in response to what you just pointed out about ESA, work capacity assessment, but be aware on the safeguarding. They have a duty of care not to victimise the vulnerable, but by, depending what you want to do, as I said, my friend downloaded you can always try and get a subject access to your medical records, whatever information is held upon you by these companies, but that would take over 30-40 days in the data protection side of things. In the meantime, is it worth going to the pill, or is it worth starting all over again in the offer service, in the claim? So when Tuesday the 23rd 10th 2018, they already had the evidence. I had to get someone to help me to resend that I am bedbound, can't walk, and the vulnerability aspect of it all as well, they already knew, they just ignored it. So there is, you can even investigate yourself what your circumstances may be. Gosh, it's not very good, a lot of things, but there is vulnerability. What does that mean for your personal situation? And my friend did a template letter, and this was not reference to the subject today, it's reference to alleged debt matter by any private other companies, and it just went into statute law about the vulnerable household and what the definitions of that means. Picking up some of those key words was relevant to this particular subject as well. What you just said, UK News, about the CAA offer of a medical too. And so the presumption that your circumstances, everyone's circumstances are different, I know that. But yeah, your situation, vulnerable situation, can differ in situations. So if you need someone's help to write down, in their opinion, like a family, friend member, or somebody you have supporting you, if you're lucky for that, if they have the experience of how and the reason because of your health or disability you're unable to, and your vulnerability and welfare, they should have made sure that the safeguarding aspect also to offer personal assessment by DWP Limited and their companies, contractor services, incorporate the lawful due process in vulnerable adults protection as well. And again, that's highlighted before on Disabled People Against Cut social media for platforms as well. And if you lack the insight and how your disability affects you as well, then you have a lawful right to have an independent individual with you in your private location because of circumstances. Otherwise, it's deemed as harassment. Okay, I'm ending the stream. My friends just highlighted. We need to help you rest. God bless. Keep safe. Thank you for joining. I don't know what hold on, I don't know what she's done there. She's trying to plug my phone in. Yep, she's done. Yeah, battery's low, so gotta go. So I imagine it's the same for WC providers. Yeah, absolutely. So take care and just take time for yourself and just take a break when you're going through all this. And only I happen to be unfortunately poorly in bed today that our friends able to get this information. And now going to switch off. It's important because it will definitely get us completely. Well, anyway, we can keep a diary or journal and just be careful about your situation because the evidence, you have paperwork, and it's like a paper trail, isn't it? You've got evidence, but when you're dealing with third parties, since the 18th of 10th, 2018, in your area claiming to be citizens rights people or welfare rights people, when you also know that they fail to offer services in line to meet your needs on top. So the low battery, I'm just ending the stream now. I've got to go. By the way, please check out the previous website if you want to learn more about trust law and equity. And otherwise, you can Sovereign Paralegals website, the website of sticking with Benefits and Works Publishing Limited. Benefits and Works Publishing Limited on information of DWP and all this guides. It's not easy because it's expensive to be a member. Right, so the website for that one is www.benefitsandworks.co.uk. Just have a look if it helps. Anything helps to try and get as much information. God bless. Take care.